And welcome everyone to another episode of the DuPage Run and Shoot semifinal edition. Wait, what? Yeah, the semifinal edition. That is right. The IHSA football playoffs are in the semifinals, and right now, we have 4 DuPage teams left at large. We have Montini, St. Francis, York, and Naperville Central. 4 of our area teams remaining, but of course we'll touch on them along with the other teams in the playoffs. We got Matt with us on the show. Matt, how we doing, buddy?
Doing good, Pat. The weather outside right now I think matches that ugly sweater very nicely currently.
Yes sir, yes sir.
Yeah.
Sadly, one of my sweaters is starting to rip right now, but thankfully Kelly's mom will sew it back for me.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, you have a nice little sewing resource there. That's
yes.
nice.
I was gonna say, I texted her saying like, "Hey, how good are you with sewing?" She's like, "I'm okay. My mom can help." I was like, "Please." We're seeing Wicked on Friday, so I'll just bring the sweater to her. And while we're seeing the Wicked, thank you, Patrice Fetterschmidt, for doing that. By the way,
you're going to see Wicked Friday. I'm going to see Gladiator 2 on Saturday. So
yeah, we were hoping to see Red 1 last Thursday for an early showing, but they didn't have an early showing last Thursday.
That sucks.
So we're going to see Wicked on Friday because there's no football Friday. All football's on Saturday. So first Friday night off for me since August.
Hey, it's a fun time to be working though on Friday nights. So
I'm not taking anything away from that, but sometimes it's nice to have one Friday off.
It is very nice to have a Friday off, but
But then comes Saturday night though. Well, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, now it's football Saturdays.
Exactly. Well, anyway, Matt, let's get on to football. We're gonna recap the quarterfinals first. Our first game: Montini 24, Princeton 7. Not much of a surprise, to be honest.
No, not much of a surprise at all. This Montini team has really come to life in the postseason, and they on the road against Princeton. I believe I actually took Princeton to win this one, I believe, but
I don't blame you for that. So
yeah,
it was close at first. The Broncos struck first with Israel Abrams finding Santino Florio for a touchdown. Then Gavin Lanham threw a touchdown to Caden Gibson. The game was tied. And then Abrams threw a last-second touchdown before the half to Florio. Literally, he completed the touchdown as time expired. That's a gutsy move right there, but props to him for making it happen.
Yeah, that is a very, very gutsy call to go for it there with time
Instead of taking 3 points.
Yeah, And we've seen that before in a lot of cases in college football and in the NFL where that decision doesn't always work. I think back to the Bengals Chiefs game, AFC Championship game from a couple years ago. The Chiefs were marching down in the red zone and they had an opportunity to score or just take the points and kick the field goal, but on fourth down they go for it and Tyreek Hill gets stopped in bounds just short of the end zone and the clock runs down and the half is over.
And how did that go for the Chiefs?
Yeah, I think we all remember that one. I remember seeing the end of it and just being absolutely jubilated because Joe Burrow's my guy.
Yep. Well, anyway, good for Montini to keep their run alive. They are going to the semis. Hard to believe, Matt, that they're in the semis for 2 straight seasons after going 3-6 for 2 straight seasons.
Hey, it's character development at its finest, though. They had 2 bad years in a row, and now they have 2 really good years in a row, and they're going to be a force to be reckoned with for a while. Bennett's going to have to really play good football against Montini for years to come.
Well, it depends on how often Bennett gets scheduled against Montini, because you got to remember the CCHL, ESCC divisions, or not CCHL, the Chicago, the CCL, ESCC is a pretty humongo conference. I think there's over 20 teams in that conference, if I'm correct.
It's a humongo conference, and you can tell because it's a humongo acronym that you just had to say.
Yeah, along with some humongo teams and humongo players.
Yep. And Montini is one of those teams, and they're making the most of it right now.
Well, so is 2 other teams that are somehow in some way into the next round.
And I know they're living rent-free inside your head right now.
Yes. That I thought, oh, they're not having a good year. I think they got in are you fucking kidding me? Even when they have a couple losses, they're still good.
Yeah, that's yikes.
Yeah. But anyway, we'll touch on those soon. Our next game, St. Francis with a 10-0 win over Sycamore. St. Francis really had to grind it down on defense. Ian Willis with the only touchdown of the game. Defense did the rest. Sycamore had some possessions and had some good possessions in the second half, but unfortunately came up empty. So it just showed how strong St. Francis defense stepped up.
Yeah, definitely showed how a lot of the credit for the Spartans this year has been on their offensive side of the ball. They can put points on the board, but defensively, you got to give them props for stepping up and showing up.
Yeah, this is really the first time the defense really had to do something all season long. Well, I wouldn't say all season long because I'm sure they've had other games where they've had to step up, but this is really where you notice the St. Francis defense.
Yeah, this is really the first inkling of it. And again, as I've been saying and echoing on this show for about the past month and a half or so, this is a pissed off Spartans
ever
team
since
right
that
here.
Providence Catholic loss.
Yep, they have not had a loss since, and they are a team that is red hot.
Yeah, because their offense has had to bail them out in a couple games this year. They had to bail them out against DuPage College Prep, who was in the semis for... I think 4A. I think they're in the semis for 4A, but damn, impressive for DuPage College Prep. So something for Bennett to spy about because Bennett beat DuPage College Prep.
Yep.
They had to drop 39 against Nazareth Academy. I'm still shocked they manhandled Loyola 35-21.
Yeah, we would like that to be in the postseason.
Yeah, I know, but unfortunately, they're not in the same class. But yes, this is really the first time St. Francis defense has been on notice.
Yeah, I would argue this has also been the first time too, and to shut out a pretty decent Sycamore team.
Yeah, good Sycamore team that always makes big runs in the postseason.
Yeah, kudos to St. Francis. I wish you luck in the next round.
Yep. Next game. You're eating shit for this game. It's okay. I'm eating shit for other games too. But I'm trying to wonder why you made this pick. Batavia 17, Downers Grove North 7. What are you doing sleeping on Batavia, man?
I I slept on Batavia a bit too much because I rode the Trojans. I rode the chariot with the Trojans the whole year. And unfortunately, I was on the chariot with the Trojans when they got swarmed and eaten alive by bulldogs, and it just all came crushing to a stop.
And their
Uh,
only touchdown in that game was a pick six.
I don't know what happened to this offense. What happened to Owen Lansu and this offense that has been so sky high this year?
I mean, when you're playing a good team like Batavia, they're going to bring the fire, but I am a little shocked that the offense did not get a touchdown
Yeah, I
whatsoever.
I am
A
I am
lot of
shocked.
empty,
Yeah.
empty possessions. Batavia had full control going up 14-0. I
Yeah.
mean,
I don't know. It was just
Batavia's on another level in the playoffs.
yeah, they are definitely on another level right now, and they are going to be tearing it up, I fear.
I
And
mean, we
I
saw what happened with Downers Grove North in the state championship game last year against Mount Carmel. Their offense was a complete no-show. And then,
yeah.
yeah, you're playing a good team in Mount Carmel. Don't get me wrong, but
Mm-hmm.
when you got two of the top teams in 7A,
Yeah.
when you're two of the top when you're playing two top teams in the class are playing, you figured both would light up the scoreboard. Well, Mount Carmel did, Downers Grove North didn't. But the good news is that Owen Lansu is back for another year, so
Yeah, they still
they'll be
have
fine. They'll be fine.
they still have another year of glory left with him under center, but we'll see how far they can make it next year.
Exactly. But yeah, no, a good season for Downers Grove North, but major props to Batavia.
It being at Batavia, that automatically you don't want to go play football in the playoffs at Batavia.
Well, really, in those at those Duquesne conference schools in general,
No, no,
Batavia loves their football. They
that's
have
just
a what? You've driven out there before, right?
yes, I have driven through Batavia a couple times, but
They
I've
have
never
the
really
water tower literally that says Batavia High School. That shows how much they fucking love their football.
yeah, I do remember seeing that water tower. Now that's pretty like
Well,
that's
me and
pretty
my
like
girlfriend, we always drive by that when we go to the Imagine Theater in Batavia.
ah yeah. I haven't been to Batavia in a while though. I need to get back
Well, you
out
should
there.
go. Well, you should go there more often for the Imagine Theater. It's not just a movie theater, but it's got a bar,
Hmm.
and you can order food as well
I will
while watching a
definitely
movie.
I will I will definitely keep that on my bucket list.
Seriously, go to it. Kelly loves it. Kelly and I will take you with us if we have to.
I'd be down.
We've seen the new Ghostbusters. We saw Twisters there. We saw the new
Hmm.
Godzilla King Kong movie, whatever the hell you want to call it, that just came out. We
Yeah,
saw
there's
Garfield, Despicable Me 4. Now we're going to see Wicked there.
all right. Hey, that I am I will be looking forward to going there someday in the future.
Yeah. But yes, back to the Batavia Bulldogs. I mean, they're moving on with the 17-7 win. I can't say I'm surprised,
Nope. Nope.
but good for Batavia.
Yeah, good for Batavia. Sorry if you got any of you watched this show and saw me pick against you. I will not doubt you.
Next game to 8A, York 34, Warren 15. Matt, it is safe to say that Warren relied on Aaron Stewart all season long.
Yeah, it's safe to say that they did, and going up against a team that was a bit of a buzzsaw in York, that was pretty well on display, I would
Yeah,
say.
yeah. Bruno Massel, I mean, he could pass, but he could run. He had 4 rushing touchdowns in that game.
Yeah, that's but hey, when you have a quarterback that can not only sling the football but can also run with the rock, that just shows you that your offense it can be one to be trifled with. It's not one dimensional at all.
Exactly, but York's got a tougher opponent coming up this week and stuff. Now, Aaron Stewart did surpass 100 yards on this weekend, but again, that just shows that Warren
Well,
relies too much on Aaron
Well, yeah,
Stewart.
and you gotta have more layers to be successful than relying on Aaron Stewart. You gotta get the passing game going. You gotta get the defense more involved, and you gotta get your receivers going. I mean, you give the offensive line credit for blocking their butts off for Aaron Stewart all year long, and you give the credit for the running game and Aaron Stewart for what he's done this year. But you gotta commit to developing more of a passing attack alongside your strong running game.
Yeah, which makes sense why they only won 5 games in the regular season,
Yep.
along
Makes
with having a tough schedule.
Well, yeah, a tough schedule doesn't help, but if they ever hope to be feared in the future, they need to you got to get that passing game going with the aerial attack.
Exactly. Our next 8A game, Matt, we saved the best for last. Naperville Central 24, Lions Township 7. Another game where you picked against Central.
Yeah, you know what? I know we talked to a lot of the Naperville Central people. I covered them quite a bit for a lot of sports, namely bowling. Some of them came at me and they saw the show and they were
Did they
like,
really?
some of them, yeah, some of them did. Uh, some of them saw that I doubted them. And you know what? I just have this to
It's
say.
okay, slow shade. It's okay, slow shade. It's okay. Slow shade doubted them too, and slow shade also doubted Batavia.
Yeah, this I'm
Boys, do not sleep on Batavia, first and foremost.
I am holding this up this week because this I I I keep doing this to myself every single time. And you know what? First letter of my last name right here. You might want to just change Lauterbach. You see where it says in the corner screen Lauterbach? Just change that to Loserbach because that was me this week on the show. I made so many dumb decisions, and Naperville Central pulling off the upset against Lyons Township. I would argue that was an upset because, yes, I know Central was back to full strength, but that was on the road at Lyons Township in hostile
Oh
territory.
yeah, there was a
Yeah.
lot of people at that game. Like I remember at halftime, I had to dash across the field just to get to the bathroom without waiting in the long lines.
Yeah, it was that was I yeah, and that was the reason why I betted against the Redhawks. And yeah, there were some people who I think saw the show and some people who messaged me and were not happy with me about said picks that I made. I saw people that I follow at Naperville Central posting on their stories that were saying, "Don't ever doubt us again. Don't ever bet against us." And sure enough, Friday night, I get home from work and I am just, I mean, I was happy. Don't get me wrong. I was happy
Yeah,
because,
you got an exciting phone call from me after the game.
you were on an adrenaline rush, my boy. You were just like, you were celebrating like the people down south in New Orleans when it's Mardi Gras season. That's how amped up you were. Yeah, it was, yeah, this, this, this is for me. This is for me. I've made this for myself, and I have to just. I honestly, I should just tape this up to my chest, just as like a symbol of
Well,
failure.
again, Matt, I made a few shit picks on the show too, so we'll definitely,
Yeah, this was the one that I think kind of stuck with me because it was just
yeah,
like, I mean, I was happy. Don't get me wrong, I was happy to see
yeah, I know.
Naperville Central win, but I was just like, of all the teams that I betted against to win, why did it have to be this?
And dude, the way they played, first and foremost, let's give props to Central's defense. They held Lions Township to,
Uh,
I swear to God,
massive props,
under 10 possessions.
massive
Lions Township
fucking
only had the
props.
ball 3 times in the first half.
Massive fucking props to that Central defense. And again, this is a Lions Township offense that took care of Downers Grove North, a team that I was very high on all
Yeah,
season long. This was,
not only that, Lions Township had to come back in that game to beat them.
yeah, no, people forget about that, but that's true. They did have to come back to beat them. But yeah, this was a
Sure, Owen
complete,
Lancer got hurt in that game, but still.
yeah, still Downers Grove North. They're nothing, you know, they're built to succeed, to win. But I I don't know. This one really took me off my sails, and I saw the score at halftime, and it was like a mixed reaction. I was like, "Yay! They're a team that I'm
Well,
at school
Central,
that,
the biggest thing before the half is Elson nailing a key 42-yard field goal before half.
yeah,
And here's the
42
thing.
yard,
Yeah,
yeah,
in fact, it was a second attempt because the first attempt was no good, but the
oh,
defense jumped off sides.
oh,
So he
yeah,
originally was supposed to, hit one from 47 yards. He missed
yeah,
it, but he had great air, just shanked it, and then a penalty came. Nelson got another chance and drilled it right before the half. And Central's
yeah,
offense was consistent. Sebastian Hayes with 2 touchdowns to Deshaun Williams. You saw
yeah.
them both. Sebastian Hayes, this kid continues to get comfortable and comfortable and comfortable.
And I have to give a lot of credit for him because if We do a lot of awards for our sports, our athletes at the end of the school year. And if there is a comeback player of the year or a newcomer of the year award, it's
Hayes is
going to go.
definitely a category for
He's
newcomer of the
going,
year.
yes, because you could argue that you could argue that he is a big reason for why Central is as far as they
And
are
we all
right now.
knew this senior class was going to be special. Keep in mind, Matt, when they were freshmen, they went 8-1.
Yes, yeah, they went in one, and I last year they had a good year. I saw a lot of what this team could be last year, and this year we're starting to see that materialize and build. And honestly, it's going to be fun. I did talk to one of the Central linemen the other night about the game and stuff and what they're looking forward to. And I don't want to give too much away, but them against Lincoln Way East, ooh.
I was going to say, it's not to look way too far ahead, Matt, but if you had to place a safe bet for the 8A state championship, I think Lincoln Way East and Naperville Central is your safe bet.
I would argue that's a safe bet,
But
but
it will
that's
be a much different game, too, because Central did not have two of their key defensive players. Players were playing hurt in that game.
yeah,
So if Central's fully healthy for that game,
yeah.
look out. It could be a different ball game.
Could be a different ball
Of
game.
course, we have to get there first, but
And remember that Lincoln Way East game, Central held them to the lowest points Lincoln Way East scored all year
Lincoln
long.
Way East also trailed for the first time this season.
Yep. Yep. It could be a different story. I would argue that Central would probably this week with them go with Lincoln Way East going up against Loyola, I would argue they would have a better shot against Loyola. But I
My dad
think,
and I were literally talking about that not too
yeah,
long ago,
I
but
I would
Loyola
argue
has to get by Lincoln Way East first.
Loyola has to get by Lincoln Way East first, and that is by no means a tough challenge. But we've seen the Ramblers have a lot of magic on their side this whole year,
Well,
or this
they're
whole
going to have to
playoffs.
use a lot of it come
Yeah.
Saturday against Lincoln Way East. But yeah, no, back to Central. Yeah. And another key. So a lot of key moments in that game came at the end of the first half and at the start of the second half.
Mm.
So, like we're saying, Central goes up 14-0 with two Sebastian Hayes touchdowns to Sean Williams. Beautiful plays, by the way. I'm sure you watched the highlights.
Oh yeah, beautiful.
And man, was I so super happy with my filming.
Yeah, that's nice because you were down on the sideline.
Yeah,
Not
there
many.
wasn't much space on top of the Lions press box. I'm
Nah.
like, oh, we'll go on the sidelines, and then I'm like, oh, I fucking love these shots.
Yeah,
The two touchdowns I got, I'm like, dude, you should see my smile. I'm like, oh,
well, I'm sure you'll be smiling quite a bit with the two camera setup as you'll head back to Naperville Central this
yep. Me
Saturday.
and Joe Kenny will be there on set. We'll be running on Saturday, and for good reasons, because it's a big game. So you definitely want a
It
two-person
is a
camera setup.
very, very, very hyped up game. So
And I've been driving by the stadium a couple times. They got all the gates set up and stuff. I'm like,
yeah,
oh boy, shit's getting
yeah,
real.
shit's about to go down.
Yep.
So,
But yes, so two key moments in that game was obviously the field goal at the end of the first half because that gave Central a 17-7 lead.
yeah,
Central got the ball to start the second half.
Mm.
Their first drive the second half resulted in a touchdown. After they took off, Matt, over 7 minutes of clock. 7 minutes. They took off. They ate up over 7 minutes on that opening drive in the second half, and it resulted in Sebastian Hayes sneaking one in for the touchdown to make it 24-7.
And that's what you need to do against this Lions Township team. I mean, the Lions, they can score points at will. And we've seen that on display the whole
Case
year.
in point, Downers Grove North.
Yep. Yeah, that is the prime example right there. And the game plan for the Central offense, I mean, the offense did what they needed to do to just get themselves a win, and they
were really consistent in that game. The defense got 2 turnovers in that game. They gave up that 25-yard touchdown to Lions Township to cut
but
the lead in
that's all
half.
they really had.
Yeah, all they had was that one good drive on their third drive of the game.
Yeah, that's
their
all.
Their third
really
drive of the game is when they got the touchdown. Danny Carroll with really nice play call, by the way. Delayed handoff to Danny Carroll, took that thing in for the touchdown. Central got the field goal and really just milked the clock from there.
Yeah,
And their
the
defense got
offense.
two. The defense got a big fourth down stop late in the third quarter. And then the defense and Daniel Nussbaum got an interception. So, yeah, no, that defense came
Yeah.
to play in the second half.
The offense did what they needed to do to keep the ball out of the Lions' hands for a
Keep in
majority of the
mind,
game.
too, Lions Township, like I said last week, Matt, was outscoring their opponents 151-26
Yeah,
before this game. 50
before
to 6 over Proviso East, 30 to 8 over 38 nothing over Joliet West, 63-20 over Downs Grove South.
yeah, that's those are teams that are very
And this is
formidable.
their and that was Lions Townships, Matt. And you will agree, and you shouldn't be surprised. Their lowest points of the year.
Yep. Yep. That's not a surprise there at all, but it just shows you the depth that this central team has to them.
Lions
And
Township had some depth too, but Central defense stepped up and made bigger
yeah,
plays.
it wasn't the Lions Township depth wasn't enough against the Red Hawk depth.
Nope. But good for Central. They're moving on to the semis for the first time since 2013 and the first time since 2017 an area high school at NCTV 17 made to the semis.
Oh boy, this is just Patrick Cotto's wet dream right here, just to see not only to see Naperville area team that we cover, but also his former high school make it. So you know what, you Red Hawks out there watching that probably saw this and saw me pick you guys. I was the only one on the show because Pat and Stan, who was our guest last week, picked you guys. I did the opposite. I apologize. That L that I hold up, I have to wear that as like a sign of regret. And yeah, that's go Red Hawks.
Yeah, no, go Red Hawks too. Let's get back to normal, dude.
Let's do it.
Seriously, because hey, at least you didn't have to see Ben Academy girls volleyball lose 3 straight state championships.
um
Like I texted you on Saturday, they're the equivalent of the '90s Bills and Sheldon Creed this year for the NASCAR Xfinity Series.
one of those hits real close to me. They're like another bird
I'm
team.
sorry. I'm sorry I had to bring that up to you, Matt, but that's how it's
Uh,
been for the past 3 years for
that
Bennett
is
girls volleyball.
that is they resemble another
Especially
bird.
this year when they were the favorite.
They resemble another bird team named the Atlanta Falcons, who has a propensity for choking away big games.
Well, it's funny too. Bennett did win the first set in that state championship match.
Of course they did.
Oh, exciting time to be a Red Hawk fan.
Yeah.
You know,
Exciting time to be a team player on this central team.
oh yes.
Mm-hmm.
To our IHSA games of the week, Matt. We'll start off with our 1A quarterfinal matchup. Lena Winslow 40, Gibson City, Melvin Sibley 7. Alex Schlichting and Aiden Wild racked up 4 wild touchdowns. See what I did? On the ground.
On the ground. Yeah, I was gonna say it. They were probably on the ground.
These
Gibson,
small schools love to run the fucking football.
yeah, a lot of them do. That's the old style football there. But that Gibson City, Melvin Sibley, that's just such a catchy tune right there. That's just such a catchy little lyric right there that I'd love to see put
Yep.
in a song. But yeah, wasn't it? Yeah, the tune wasn't good enough to perform their way to a win.
Lena Winslow moving on to the state semifinals. No surprise, they're always in the semifinals for Class 1A. Lena Winslow will take on Leroy, the battle of the undefeateds and the battle of the top 2 teams in Class 1A.
Oh boy, those small town teams gonna get it going here.
Yep, well, it will likely see Lena Winslow and Camp Point Central the state championship again.
More than likely.
Yep. So anyway, Matt, to our next game, Monticello 27, Benton 26.
Yeah, this was somewhat of a barn burner here.
Overtime, Monticello had a 14-2 lead. Tiffin Kazuka scores a touchdown to make it 14-9. Benton was down 20-9, and then they go on an 11-0 run to force OT. Monticello's mascot, the Sages.
Huh.
Don't know if it is. The Sages, they strike first with Ike Young finding Carter forehand for the touchdown. Then the Rangers score next with Kazukis. They go for two and don't get it. You know
Mm.
what? I propped Spenton for going for two in the win.
Yeah, that takes massive cojones to do that in the playoffs with elimination on the line right there. That takes some major cojones to pull that
Yep.
off.
So yeah, Monticello is moving on to the semifinals where they will take on Tolono Unity.
Mm.
And we will touch on that other 3-day semifinal matchup because it is going to be a good one.
All right. Sounds good.
Well, you know which game I'm talking about.
Yes, yes, I know exactly which one you're referring to.
Yep. Next one, 5A, Morris 21, Morgan Park 7.
I believe we all picked Morris on this one.
We all went with Morris. The Morris defense with 4 turnovers forced.
And this is against the Morgan Park team that has been pretty formidable this whole year.
Yep.
So,
but unfortunately, when they're down, the undisciplinary shows.
yeah, the undisciplined showed. I still remember Morgan Park in the bowling sectionals last year, just going on an insane
that
run.
guy.
Yeah, that guy who hit
That guy
11.
specifically.
That guy specifically, Davion Bickham was his name, who struck 11 in a row and single-handedly brought the Mustangs from
Oh,
eighth
so a
to
perfect
second.
game.
Yeah, no, he had a spare in the first frame, and then the rest of his frames were strikes.
Okay, then
So
yeah,
yeah, and he was just like, and I still have that video saved on my hard drive. That's so iconic that I still say.
for Morris, Brady Varner scoring 3 touchdowns in the game, passing.
It's pretty good.
Defense gets a turnover, and they score a touchdown.
Mm.
Then they it was only 7-up to that halftime. They were outgained by Morgan Park 138-34, but still led 7-up at a half.
Again, you just look at it like, what was Morgan Park doing? They outgained them in yards, but you can't even put a single point on the board.
Just shows that they were inconsistent.
Yeah, it really just shows the inconsistency right there that they're a formidable team, but you get
Stats
undisciplined
don't
and
matter sometime, Matt.
no, it doesn't because clearly the more disciplined team was Morris and they came out on top in this one. It's
Oh
like,
yeah.
yeah, it was like the Lions Packers game a couple weeks ago. That was, I would say, the stats favored Green Bay, but the discipline and the execution favored Detroit. That's why they won that game.
And that's what Morris did. They executed better.
Yeah.
They were up 14-0. Morgan Park got a touchdown to cut it in half. But like how Naperville Central did against Lions Township, Morris did the same thing. 8 the clock.
Yeah, that's how you got to beat some of
That's
these
how
teams
some
sometimes.
playoff football games are won.
That's
It may sound boring, but
hey,
football.
it's traditional football.
It's also playoffs too.
Yeah,
You're
it's
fighting to keep your season alive.
exactly. You don't love it, don't watch it. But
Exactly.
mhm.
But yeah, so Morris is moving on to the semis against Joliet Catholic.
Oh, that's gonna be a fun one.
Dude, this 5A Final Four is fucking loaded.
Yeah.
To 6A, Geneva 49, Lake Forest 14. Geneva took a 21-0 lead after the first quarter. 14 of their points literally came 5 minutes into the game.
Pat, you and I were talking when an opponent scores double digits on you just 5 minutes into the game, you already know what kind of game that's going to be.
You're basically fucked.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Anthony Chihino pretty much fucked this Lake Forest defense. 5 total touchdowns, 216 passing yards. He threw a touchdown to, obviously, Mr. Taylor.
Yeah.
Gavin Burt, Michael Romaro, and Bennett Conkey.
Yeah, that was
Dylan
I
Rise, Troy Velez, Dane Turner, and Mason Stewart all had interceptions in the game as well. So this is a special Geneva team.
This is a very special Geneva team, and I am so upset that them and Batavia are not in the same class as each other. If they were to play each other in the same class in the playoffs this year, oh, this would be good.
Bad blood.
Yeah, bad blood, because the last time those two teams met, the bad blood simmered quite a bit.
Well, and then Taylor also did something
Or
stupid.
Well, no, not simmered. Let me restart that.
Yeah.
The bad blood in this game really kind of stirred up a little bit, and yeah, Taylor did something very uncalled for.
Yeah. Yeah. No whipping, please. No whipping.
No,
We have
no.
I have the video saved.
Yes, we keep receipts, so
We keep
no.
receipts. Like social media is pretty strong nowadays for people to keep receipts. So
Yep, yeah.
feeling
You
comfortable.
kind of just made yourself a bit more vulnerable to that.
Yep. But it sounds like he learned his lesson. So
Mm, yeah.
next
Oh boy.
game to 7A. Mount Carmel, still at large, with a 49-42 win over Normal. Oh my goodness gracious. No defense in this game.
No defense, but I mean, you kind of expect that with Mount Carmel going up, with their offense and how formidable they are. But this was a barn burner between them and Normal right here. That went down to the nitty gritty.
Yep. Although the Caravan had a 42-28 lead, but Normal kept coming.
Yeah. Hey, nothing's ever safe in the playoffs. You always kind of have to expect
We
anything to
saw that
happen.
with Naperville North and Maine South. We saw that with Naperville Central and Fremd.
Yep. Yeah, we saw that quite a bit. So, kudos to Mount Carmel. They keep their season going, but it wasn't pretty for them.
Nope. Next one, Lincoln Way East, 45. Stevenson, a big fat 0.
I thought Stevenson would put up a lot more of an effort in
A
this
little
one.
disappointed with Stevenson, to be quite honest. I'm a
Yeah.
little disappointed. Yes,
Yeah.
you're playing against, the best team in the state. You're playing the best quarterback in the state, which you just saw that video of him rushing for that touchdown.
Like a 90, 85-yard touchdown right there. That's insane.
And you thought, oh, he's going to get stopped. And I'm like the angles he took. Oh my
Oh,
God.
God. He had some
So you
pretty
all think
filthy
Jonas
angles.
Williams can kill you by his arm? Wait till you see
Yeah.
his legs.
God, yeah, he can kind of be like Lamar Jackson or Michael Vick a little bit there. His running skills and his throwing, his pocket awareness and his rocket arm, he can really sling it.
Yeah, very impressive performance by Lincoln Way East, because this is the first time this year where Stevenson was shut out.
Yeah, I don't know what
Wonder
happened.
why.
I wonder why they really came into
So
this
both
match
their losses
sleepwalking.
came against two good teams. Their last loss was that one to Libertyville back in September.
Oh, they've had a good season ever since, but yeah, they really came into this match sleepwalking.
Yeah, and let Jonas Williams and Lincoln Way East walk all over them.
Yep. Yeah, that was not good for Stevenson at all. It's a shame.
Nope.
Really thought they would put up more of an effort.
I thought Stevenson would score some points.
So did I. I didn't expect them to win, but I thought they would have some points.
No, but points. I'm like, wow, a little
Mm-hmm.
depressing, but okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Next one, and fucking damn it, Loyola 35, Maine South 14.
I'm just as disappointed as you are.
Maine
And
South. Why?
why did you have to lay the biggest egg of the season against Loyola? Why?
Yeah, yeah. Like we expected. Like I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of expecting Mount Carmel and Loyola to be, done, in the quarters with how their seasons went. But nope. New
Nope.
year,
Yeah,
same Loyola and Mount Carmel.
they defy all logic again. And it's just, I don't know what happened to this Maine South team that had such a high flying offense. They put up points like it was nothing the first two rounds. And
They
then
scored 40 their first two games.
exactly. And now they put up just 14. I,
Michael
we,
Gelumo scored the first touchdown, and then Donovan Robinson had a pick six to tie the game.
Eesh.
Drew McPherson then popped an 81-yard touchdown run to make it 14-7. The Hawks got another one back, but then a 21-0 one by Loyola sealed the deal.
Yeah, and Jamison Purcell, who we've been really giving praise to, it's just like he's still a sophomore though. He's still young, he's still learning, but this was a wake-up call that, there's a lot of room to improve for him, and I expect him to take those steps in the future.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure.
Hmm.
Yeah, Jamison Purcell's a name to look out for.
Yes, definitely. Nothing against you, buddy, but still young, you're still learning. You got a bright future ahead of you in this landscape.
Next round to our DuPage Games of the Week semifinal. We only have 3 games.
Yeesh.
Yep, 3 games, 4 teams. We got 2 teams playing each other.
Oh boy, I'm gonna be good.
First one, Wilmington versus Montini. Wilmington had 300 yards rushing in their quarterfinal game against DuPage. Ryan Ketman and Sean James, they're running all over the place, man.
Yeah. Hey, that's another small town that loves to run the football. So,
You know what,
well,
Matt? I'm going to go with Wilmington in this one.
I was gonna say I think I'm gonna lean more towards Wilmington in this one.
Yeah, I'm taking Wilmington. Sorry, Montini fans, but
Yep, I think the ride is over for you, unfortunately.
yep. Well, you hope so at least.
You would, you hope so.
Yep. Next game in class. Next game in 5A. St. Francis versus Nazareth Academy. Oh boy. Oh
I
boy.
I I know I've been singing the praises of St. Francis, and I give them credit because, as I've been saying, they've been playing pissed off football since they got robbed in that game against Providence Catholic about a month and a half ago. But they're on the road. They're at Nazareth Academy. Nazareth can drop points on you like it's nothing. I think I'm
Logan
gonna,
Malachuk has been a force to be reckoned with lately for Nazareth Academy.
yeah,
I'm thinking the Roadrunners. They're gonna run all over the place.
yeah, they're gonna road
It's gonna
run
be
their.
close, but I'm taking Nazareth.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Roadrunners too. It's just like Roadrunners. Just this is Wile E. Coyote versus Roadrunner, and Roadrunner's just gonna outrun them and score more points.
Yeah, I mean 54 in week round 1, 42 round 2, 42 round 3, and now
Yep,
we'll see.
we'll see.
Next one, the a big one in 8A. York versus Naperville Central.
Naperville is gonna be a fun place on Saturday night.
Yep, the game's at Naperville Central at 6 o'clock. It's going to be on WCIU, the U.
Oh, I'm gonna have to record this one.
With how good Central's been playing lately, I don't see a reason why they can't be stopped. I mean, yes,
I
York is good, but
I'm putting Naperville Central over York in this one.
yeah, York is making their 3rd straight semifinal appearance.
Yeah, and they're a good team, but this is a Red Hawk team that is built to win now. They prove me wrong. They prove that they can take the next step forward against Lions Township, and I think they're going to do it. I'm going to go final score prediction 28-20 Red Hawks.
Good choice. I'm going to go 31-20 Red Hawks, but that last touchdown for Central is going to come late.
All right. Then
They're
it's going to
gonna
be
they're gonna score a late touchdown to seal the game.
all right. I can see that happening. But
I see it close the whole way, but Central will
so
score a
do I.
touchdown to seal the game.
So do I. I see it close too.
Awesome. All right, Matt, to our IHSA games of the week, and we have a load. Like I said in the rundown, Matt, load them fuckers up.
Yeah. Load them up.
2A, Farmington versus Chicago Christian.
The farmers, the countryside, out into the city. Oh boy.
The game's at Farmington.
Oh, it is at Farmington. Okay. Sorry. I thought this was the
Yeah, it's all
farmers
good.
traveling out there.
Farmington versus Chicago Christian. We've talked a little about this Farmington team all year, Matt.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna ride the hay bale with the farmers.
For the Farmers!
For the farmers. We're
I'm
gonna go
taking
with
the
the
Farmers too.
farmers.
I love this Farmers team.
So do I. So do I.
Farmers team will punch their ticket to the 2A championship game, and they will play the winner of our next I should say game of the week, Johnston City versus Merrill Forsyth. Oh
Mm,
boy.
yeah. Eesh.
This is a tough
Let's.
one to pick, man.
Yeah, this is. I think I'm
Ryan
gonna lean.
Ryan Shepard with over 3,000 passing yards and 42 touchdowns on the season.
I think I may go Johnston City on this one.
Johnson City over Miro Forsyth.
Yes. It's bold.
Ooh, it is a bold move right there. But you know what? That's why you play the game, Matt.
Yep, that is exactly
Can
why you play
Johnston
it.
City just slow down this Merrill Forsyth offense?
Mm.
3,000 passing yards for Shepard, Canton Wilson with 1,000 yards rushing, and Zach Smith with over 1,000 yards receiving.
How can
And
you
they got
not
two
love
other
all that?
receivers in Grant Smith and Mitch Williams, who
Mm.
each have over 800 yards receiving.
You cannot bet against that offense with all that star power right there.
Yeah.
You just
So,
can't.
so you're gonna change your pick to Merrill Forsyth?
I may actually, you convinced me otherwise. I think I'm going to change it to Marrow Forsyth.
Yeah, I'm going to take Merrill Forsyth. It's going to be a great game. I mean, they had to sneak by Quincy Notre Dame by 1 point.
Yeah, I see this game being close, but Marrow Forsyth I think may just
Yeah.
be enough. I
Jace
can't
Weather
change
and
my
Evan
pick.
Sanders are named to watch for Johnston City, but it's going to be a great game.
Yeah, yeah, it
But
is.
the game is at Johnston City.
Eesh,
That
that's
game could
scary.
go either way.
Exactly.
That game could go either way. But hey, you know what?
Hmm.
I love seeing chaos.
So do I. You gotta love seeing it.
I'm taking Merrill Forsyth in this one, but if Johnson City pulls off the win, I'll be happy.
As will I. As will I.
Next one to 5A. Joliet Catholic versus Morris.
And these are two rivals who fucking hate each other. They hate each other's guts. So
Morris
I'm
came into the playoffs at 5-4 this year.
yeah. Yeah, they
Very impressive playoff run, to be quite honest.
yeah, I would argue that too. And I think I
They
don't know
dropped
this.
they had to go to they had to go to Triad and win 57-28. They had to
Mm,
drop 36 on Highland Park. They beat a real good Morgan Park team. Now you play Joliet Catholic.
yeah. I I think I'm gonna go Morris on this one here. I just feel Morris has the
And there have been some games where
yeah.
Joliet Catholic's been undisciplined.
Yes, there's been quite a
Oswego's
bit.
a perfect example.
Yeah, exactly. I would argue that Oswego has been a very perfect example, and
I'm
that's
going to
why
take Morris in this one as well.
that's why I'm gonna go with Morris here.
Mm-hmm. Nice pick. Larry Stringham, Nate McGrinney,
Mm,
and Vince Bremner are names to watch out for Joliet Catholic. Both teams love to display the ball.
yeah, but I think Morris is gonna be showing it off quite a bit more.
I
I
agree.
get that feeling.
Next one, and this, oh boy, these defensive coordinators better be ready. They better be ready. That's all I'm going to tell you. Cary Grove versus Geneva. Cary Grove's triple option
Oh boy.
versus Geneva's passing attack.
Yeah. I Woo. This could go either way, but you know what? I'm gonna ride with the Vikings on this
I'm going to
one.
take the Vikings as well. This is their
Yeah.
year.
This is their year, I think, in 6A for them to go far.
Yep. Next one. Batavia versus Lincoln Way Central. Semifinal for Class 7A. First semifinal appearance since 2000 for Lincoln Way Central.
Mm, they're a young and up and coming team, but
I'm taking
Batavia, I think,
Batavia.
yeah, I'm going Batavia. They have all the momentum going for them right now.
Yep. Next one. Mount Carmel versus St. Rita.
Mm,
The game's at St. Rita.
game is at St. Rita. I think I'm gonna still. Oh, I don't know. I may actually go a bold take here and take St. Rita in this one.
Adam, right there with you. I'm taking St. Rita on this one as well.
Yep. Yep.
St. Rita is a very scary team.
That they are. Do not ever bet against them.
Sure, one of their losses this year did come to Mount Carmel, but
Yep.
that was way earlier this season.
Yeah.
You have to go back to week two. Week two, they lost 28-0.
Yeah.
That was in week two.
That is quite a whiles away.
Yeah, this
So,
is a brand new St. Rita team.
yeah.
Jack Elliott for Mount Carmel's gonna have to play, the game of his life because
Mm,
win or go
yep.
home.
Yep. Yeah. Hey, put up or shut up. That's how it is.
Yep, Ambruster for St. Rita's got 1,700 passing yards.
Mm,
Nick Herman has over 1,000 yards rushing for
yep.
St. Rita. I'm gonna lead towards St. Rita. 23-20 Mustangs the final.
All right. I'm going to go 26-21 final score, St. Rita.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
nice pick, Matt. And then the next one, the last one, Loyola versus Lincoln Way East. These two teams cannot stay away from each other. Met up in the 2021 quarterfinals, met up in the last two state championships, and now these teams are meeting up for a trip to state.
Uh,
Matt,
I
at
know
this point of the season, all teams are good.
all teams are good. I know Loyola has defied death quite a few times this season, and they have got all the magic on their side. But you know what? That Griffin team, they are built on every single aspect.
I'm taking Lincoln Way East as well. They've
I'm,
impressed us all season long. I'm going with the Griffins.
yeah.
Naperville Central versus Lincoln Way East for the 8A state championship.
Well, I'm riding with them, but yeah, I'm gonna go with Lincoln Way East on this one here.
The Chicago Sun-Times really was nearly correct.
Yeah, yeah.
Remember that I showed you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know about Central, but then when I found out Wade and Newsbaum were back, I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
So you're telling me there's a chance. So
And
you're
guess what?
saying,
There is a chance.
yep, there's a really good chance of that happening. And Naperville Central and Lincoln Way East are two teams that have all the momentum riding for them right now.
So for 8A, we're predicting Lincoln Way East versus Naperville Central,
Mhm.
7A, Batavia versus St. Rita, 6A Geneva versus East St. Louis. Fun fact: a rematch of the 2008 state championship game between those two teams.
Eeh.
So
Eeh.
5A, we're looking at Morris versus Nazareth Academy.
Mm.
4A, I don't think we digged into 4A. I'm going to say Normal University versus DePaul College Prep.
Yep. Yeah.
For 4A, 3A, we'll say Wilmington, and I'm going to say Wilmington and Monticello.
Hmm. All right.
2A, the Farmers and Merrill Forsyth.
Or the Farmers.
And I'm going to say the Farmers. We'll
Oh
obviously
yeah.
touch on those next week, but yeah.
Yep.
And then 1A, I'm going to say Lena Winslow and Camp Point Central.
All right. I like this.
Yep. And finally, Matt, let's wrap up with our DuPage teams of the week. There's only 4, but I have a feeling you're going to steal mine. Make your pick.
Well, you know what, Pat? I mean, this team won big. They put up a lot of points, and you know what? They absolutely just stymied their opponent on either side of the ball. And you know what? I can't bet against them because
Yep.
they've really proved us wrong. I am going with Montini.
Oh, really?
You thought I was gonna go with Naperville Central.
Yeah.
Kinda gotcha there.
Like you did for our Codebach Pit Stop show, which I think an emergency episode may need to happen soon.
An emergency episode will probably happen very, very soon.
Yes. But yeah, so no, Montini back in the semis, well deserved. Good pick, Matt. My pick, Naperville Central.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I left it right to you. I left it for you. I could have gone that route and I almost had you there, but you know what? I showed you mercy.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. And what a year it's been for Central. What a year it's been for
Yeah.
all these teams.
Yeah, what a year it's been for a lot of these teams. What a time to be a fan of Naperville Central right now with their football team.
What a time to be a fan of high school football. You think the state championship games are exciting? Dude, the semis. The
Oh, yeah.
semis.
The
You're
semis.
playing to go to the fucking state championship game.
Yeah, and Naperville Central right now has a damn good shot at that happening.
Yes, they do. Very good York team coming up. We'll see what happens.
Exactly.
And that is it for the DuPage Run and Shoot. Nat, another good episode of the DuPage Run and Shoot. I can't believe the season's almost over.
Nor can I. I can't either, but you know what? We got basketball, we got wrestling, we got swimming, we got hockey, we got bowling, which I am most excited for.
Yep.
And yeah, we got so much more to cover, but we're going to cherish these last couple weeks of football while we still can.
I was going to say, yeah, let's, especially if we have an area team still alive.
Yeah. Yep. And we do for us.
Yes, we do. Well, thank you everyone for tuning into this episode of the DuPage Run and Shoot. We will see you next time.